setup.
That was great to see.
Yeah. So
That was fun, guy. I knew like you were doing like serious shit, but this is like a lot.
yeah, between like the lighting
Components.
and and all the technical stuff, and yeah. I think you're probably the first person who I've interviewed that hasn't like been involved in the little small camera process to see like how much it takes to actually like set up. Everyone just comes to my house and it's already there. So like, it's like, oh, okay. But like to move everything to like a foreign spot and trying to get that going, it takes a little bit of lifting and like double checking stuff.
Yeah, that was a lot. I know you did it probably not as like long of a time as you would take if you had the time, I guess. But that was like a whole thing.
Yeah, and it's all you always, especially when you're moving it from like one spot to another, you always kind of forget like something, like, and you're just like, all right, I have to like adapt to this.
Yeah.
So, like, all right, so what do I need to?
Yeah.
You know, so the chaos. I always lived in chaos. So
Always a part of it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an intro of sorts. But yeah, thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we're in a different setting as usual. Y'all should be used to this, but we got a beautiful house that we're in. I'm here with the lovely Dana Herndon, fresh out of Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh.
What a time.
It was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
It's not over yet.
Oh, it's not. No, I saw you planning and already getting the gears going for next year.
Yeah.
It's only been it was only like a couple hours afterwards. So
Yeah. We just got like a custom order just a couple hours ago.
That's so dope.
Someone from LA was like, "Oh, we loved Kaplan's knit designs."
Yeah.
That they saw on Instagram and connect us with that designer.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. So yeah, for folks who don't know you, can you kind of give them like a brief biography? You've done so much, so it's kind of...
Yeah, let's see. Okay, well, I'm Dana Herndon. I'm an Alaskan transplant. I'll just kind of like summarize where I'm at right now.
Okay, yeah.
Alaskan transplant, been here 7 years, work in the PR, public relations, political world. I do a lot of things around the community in terms of like organizing gatherings, events, festivals. And that's what I've been doing for 7 years now, which is crazy to think.
Like that, right?
Yo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like I think November will technically be the first, will be 7 years for when I started doing this.
I was going to ask you how long you've been doing this.
Yeah. Like it's more than like 6. It's been like a brainchild for like a little while.
Yeah.
Like I did kind of start in 2015 being like, oh, I want to start a podcast. And then like all these crazy events happened. And then I'm like, 2016 is like the podcast will be created.
That's amazing. That's not even that long from like planting a seed to actualizing it.
Yeah.
Or it growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy though, because it's always a process, especially like for creators like yourself. Like you have this idea and you're like, all right, how do I put these pieces together? It's like when you're doing Girls, like I know that was just like a fun thing that turned into a very serious and fun thing. And like seeing those productions have been amazing.
Yeah, that's been an evolution on its own. I mean, Timo was the one that came up with the name, and Serena came up with the concept. And with our powers combined,
yes,
we started it.
It's like a trio of women every time.
Yeah,
that's because it's like Fashion Week.
Yeah,
it's Girls. Yeah,
I know. Well, it's funny because like growing up, it was like, I don't know, I was just kind of told that like, oh, watch out, like group of 3 girls. It's kind of like not a good.
It can't get dangerous.
It can get dangerous.
It can get a little dangerous.
It's worked out professionally though.
Yeah.
And collaboratively, it's worked out. I think as just 3, you can get like a good sense of. I mean, people have their different strengths and different personality types.
Right. That's the thing. I think that's the power of like just having a team.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Oh my gosh, it's so important.
Yeah.
You can't really do anything without a bunch of people.
No.
Like at all. I was just thinking about like, I haven't properly like really distilled Alaska Fashion Week. And so I was like thinking, I was like, wow, like all the different pieces that led to that and all the different people. I mean, all the pieces of people. It's pretty amazing. I mean, just any sort of collaboration just helps make something bigger than what was initially conceived.
Yeah. I'm hoping that from the transition from like LA, I had a really solid team that was like helping me out. And it really just started with me helping out Haru because he wanted to, well, he was doing music. He had been doing music for years. And then making that friendship and being like, hey, man, you need a ride or whatever to a show, whatever. Oh, yeah, man. Just it's helping him get places. It's helping him just like do some logistical stuff.
Yeah.
I already came from a military background. So just like logistically trying to figure out a problem is like waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
So, and that having that person to like kind of like look at it as a vision and be like, okay, this is how he's executing this stuff. Like I could do that for the thing that I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And then you just water each other throughout your strengths. Like kind of you say, like, I know Serena has this very unique eye for things.
Totally.
Yeah. And
ethereal, creative.
Yeah. Like. Yeah, definitely. Indeed. Indeed is the same way. She has her poetic eye that she goes through. She has her passion that she has.
MC passion.
I love it. So how did all this start though?
What?
Just,
all of it?
The PR stuff, like how did...
Oh, okay. So PR stuff started when I was like in Miami. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my life. So I just worked, and I had the opportunity of working for the History Channel. So I was going to school and just was kind of like wherever they needed me kind of thing. And so started out in the public relations department. I didn't even know what that really meant, and now that I know what I know, it's like there's different facets of public relations. But so I started doing that in Miami and in-house for the television network and communications, and I didn't really, in marketing and PR, it's something I didn't really know that I had like a natural aptitude for. It's just something that kind of like that whole dynamic of just being out there, promoting things, telling stories. It's, I guess something I've always been pulled to do. And so that's how the public relations started. It was like when I was in Miami, and then was there for several years, and then moved here. Totally like a rebrand. Again, didn't really know what I was doing. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. So it took all of that, just like worker bee situation and just like learning the ropes. And when I was here, I was like, no one knows me. It's my LinkedIn, there's my background, but it was a chance for me to like, without even like thinking about it, just kind of doing it was a way for me to like put into practice all the things I learned down there. Here I'm known for like events and like productions and stuff. Like that wasn't something that started until I was here. And where I just took everything I learned and with no attachments, like no one really knew who I was and where I was from or what I was about, that gave me the space to just kind of like create without any like self-consciousness and just like do things.
Yeah.
And like do it myself because like, I didn't really have the team. I didn't really have anyone here. So I was just kind of like trailblazing on my own. And I was like, well, Alaska, like, what is that?
Right.
Literally, I come from Miami. It looks like the farthest, So I guess I was like this veil of just not really knowing how small of a town it was and like who everyone was.
Right.
Just kind of came here and like did some things, and the size of the community also was a way for me to be able to do that comfortably. Like in a big city, you're more anonymous. You're a smaller fish in a big pond, and here it's the other way around.
Right.
So I was able to like kind of like maybe assert some of like my abilities without feeling like I had to know someone's dad or like have all this money.
Right.
Or like drive this car.
Right.
Or have an MBA. Or go to UM. Come from FIU, bitch. I don't fucking care. Westchester.
Oh, God.
Westchester.
Yeah, I figured it out now.
Literally.
Miami house, 305.
Yo, but 907.
Oh, shoot. Now the 907.
It's like 307, 305, but on 907.
What's dope, though?
Yeah, so I don't know. Does that answer your question?
No, 100%.
Yeah, that's how it started, and that's where it's going, and that's where it's at.
That's one thing I do like about Juneau. Like, just being able to... Like just recently, like just being able to DJ a show.
Yeah, didn't you say Juneau helped you kind of like spread your wings in some professional capacity too?
Yeah, 100%. Because it was like it's easier for me to get gigs in bigger cities. It's easier for me to get podcasts in bigger cities.
Yeah, because there's saturation. There's more people.
Right. There's more people.
An
and
opportunity.
Then they tell you on a podcast, they check you out on Instagram, like, oh, let's do something.
And I want to be on that because I have something to say.
Yeah. And then like I could get 6 shows like in a month easily. But here, like I really had to kind of get into networks of like groups of people who were inviting, but at the same time we're kind of standoffish because they're like, well, I don't want my words to, you know, impact the community in a way. So I was like, all right. So then that started to make me think about like my voice and how people were going to receive and accept me, not just as an individual, but as a company, as a brand, and how,
platform.
you know, and how just because the way that we digest media, someone can take a 2-minute clip of something that I said, and then all of a sudden that just becomes who I am forever.
I know.
And it could be have been like something could have preceded it and been right after that, like at minute 2:01, and it's like, and that's why I think teachers should get right. You know, it's like, oh, he was like making, oh, okay, he was being like facetious. He was like making a joke. He was like making a false argument, and said, you know, and then no one ever goes back and like double check, like hardly ever. Like 10% of people will be like, oh, I see he was doing right there.
There must have been more to that.
No,
Yeah.
there's definitely more to that. Like people are not as one dimensional as we like to think, because we aren't. None of us are like super easy, palatable little round pegs that don't have like depth to us. But it's very easy to just be like, oh, that person said this.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what they are.
I know, man. I deal with that a lot. Like in the
PR, like,
PR world. Like, yeah. When I was doing media relations in Miami at this agency, I was like constantly like we just secure interviews with like whatever, New York Times or Wall Street Journal, like, or any trade or any magazine or whatever. And there's always just some quote taken out of context.
Yeah.
You know, and the client gets pissed and it's like, you're right. You know, that's not really what you meant to say. But it's there now forever in print. Right. All the news that's fit to print. Wall Street Journal said it. Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But that's why it's like, it's on really like, well, it's like you need to, you know, kind of be thoughtful as to what you say and how you say it. Right. But also too, it's like the platforms that are like spreading messages should also, there's some ethics there too.
No, 100%.
It's like,
yeah,
you know,
100%.
You also need to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of responsibility. Like I think about that, like just seeing like even recently, like a lot of people who've gotten famous on TikTok, have gotten so famous that now like, oh, you're a public figure now, so I can dig all the way into your life.
Man.
Right. So then it's like, but also like you got like 350,000 followers, man.
I know, it's just like with politicians too. Yeah. It's like, this is like, okay, now you're running. Okay, cool. We're going to get all the skeletons out.
Right.
It's like they did this then, therefore they can't do this now. And it's like, I mean, that is part of someone's like fabric of existence, right? Like that happened. It was an event. But at the same time.
Right. We got to pretend that like.
Everyone does like shit.
Everyone has something that they're like embarrassed of. It doesn't have to be anything illegal or anything like that. But like they wore an outfit, drank too much.
I mean, there's some stuff like you shouldn't look past though. I mean, let's be real.
But there's some people that's like,
I don't care what frat you're in, okay?
It's like, hey man, you can't have been doing this ever. And no time was it ever okay.
Yeah, I have some friends who started like in the cam business, like in Miami when it just started. And like it's like back in the day, and it's like no, it's like Google their name, and it's like, oops.
Oh my.
You know, just like you don't play the tape.
It's like you put this on the internet. Yeah. This doesn't go like it's like Snapchat when it got exposed that they keep all this on the server, like
shocking.
It's like shocking, like what? But I said it disappears from your phone, from your ability to access it, not from the servers that they have to manage all that data. It's not how the internet works.
It's on some cloud.
Literally, it's on the cloud server somewhere. Just,
man, who has access to all that stuff?
CIA. Okay. A couple, the government.
Yeah, the government. Just a whole collective thing. China.
The Five Eyes.
Oh man.
The
keeper of secrets.
Yeah, the keeper of secrets. Chamber of secrets.
You're right.
AKA the servers.
Yeah.
at Twitter. I never really got into Twitter. That was
Oh, I
that's something
love
I'm
it.
kind of like. I just was like, I'm not famous. Why do I need Twitter?
Well, so I use it for like for media relations. It's like
No,
that's
I
kind
get
of
that.
how I get like that's how I like I don't know what's a better word than stalk. Get to know journalists
Okay,
that I want to like pitch stories
without
to.
them knowing.
Well, yeah.
So suck.
Right.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Again, public figures. No one
You're
made
right,
you
you're
get a
not
Twitter
wrong.
page. No
You're
one
not-
made you become a world
Well,
renowned
for some reason on Twitter,
journalist.
like journalists have more information than they do anywhere else. It's like, here's my email. And you see like what they're thinking about. So it's like
Yeah.
when you think about what kind of stuff you want to pitch them, it obviously has to be appropriate. So if they're like really on this topic at this point, it's like you're not gonna hit them up about something like completely irrelevant.
Right,
So anyways, Twitter is like, I mean, I use it for that. I don't use it for myself
Right.
though.
No,
So I guess I'm
personally.
like, okay, wow, maybe it is like a stalker tool for me.
Professional.
Whoa.
Professional.
Professionally thought. Like,
So it's
yeah.
okay. You're
Yeah.
doing
Because it's like, so that's funny because I try
professional
to
research.
judge people that use
Remember, this will exist forever.
that use Instagram and that are always watching stories and are always liking posts but never post anything.
Yeah.
That's me on Twitter.
Oh, then yeah, same.
Same thing.
Like, I don't think I have tweeted really ever. Really.
Oh, man, I saw some of my former tweets not too long ago. So I was like, this is when I thought the internet wasn't real.
Right. Like, at one point, I think my page got, like you just, if you leave it alone for too long, eventually somebody will break into your account or whatever. So, like, it just had a bunch of shenanigans on there, and I just went back
No
and
one told
reset.
you?
That's how, like, it had been like 6 years since I had like gone on to it, and like I didn't follow anybody. I probably only had like 3 followers because I was just
Okay.
never on it. But
Yeah.
like it got hacked or whatever, and I was like, oh, I guess I should take over this thing
I should look into that.
just in
actually.
case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like your MySpace.
I never had MySpace.
That's my favorite. I
never
like
had that.
going to like. Okay, I'm gonna tell
What?
a secret. I like finding people's MySpaces that I work with because generally they've never deleted them, so they just still exist.
What page on Google is that though, you think?
Huh?
What page on Google, like when you search someone?
Oh, just type in their full name and then MySpace.
MySpace got duh.
Right?
Duh.
Right? Just it's very like the simplest. Or if
Live journal.
oh, oh God.
Yo, there's some live journals I really enjoyed when I was in high school. I was like, man, that's good. That was a good live journal.
But I like going on there to see like the cringe pictures that they were posting like back in the early 2000s.
Oh wow.
It's usually just shirt off, Vans sneakers, white
Yeah.
frame Oakleys.
Yeah.
That's-
Oh wow. Yeah, Maryland. Okay.
Or like, like when it was very fashionable to have your thongs
The
out
thong out.
and like hold your little dog, but you don't have a little
Man,
dog, so you're
simple
medium-sized
life
dog.
days.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah,
The early
right.
2000s.
They're up there just hanging out, waiting for me to Google.
I never had MySpace. I wasn't allowed to. Like my mom was like, work for the government. Know what the hell they
It's like,
do
we're
with
not
that?
doing this.
Yeah, and like same with Facebook. I didn't get Facebook until like late in the game.
But I get that, man. Like, it's like, if I worked in the government, I had like a probably like top secret clearance or whatever, like my kids would not be
Yeah.
having that because I'm like, oh, so you're just gonna give people a tour of the entire house?
No, my mom was telling me like facial recognition, like way back.
Yeah, that way back, yeah, because it's like that's
It's
like
obvious.
the U.S. uses that heavy, China uses that heavy. China uses like even like your body temperature.
Yeah.
Like getting to that point. Even the British were using like earlobes because like
Mm-hmm.
it's the same as your fingerprint. Like everybody's just like specifically different.
And then your gait, like how you walk.
Oh yeah, that's a whole.
That's the whole thing. You don't even need facial recognition.
Oh,
it's
no,
like
man,
how
we know
someone
how you
walks.
walk. Excuse me? Like you're tracking, you have data on how
Yeah.
I walk out here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wild.
it is wild. Maybe just like wear heels, right? That would change it, right?
I wore heels once and I was ridiculed online, but I would do it again.
But like if you're trying to like get out of that technology, wear heels. But like I thought he was 6'5". No, this guy's 6'9". He's walking way too.
It's walking way different. They look like Tim's, but they're not. They're Tim's. Here's a Tim's clone over my 6-inch
Body
stilettos.
temperature?
Yeah.
What if you're sick?
Like homeostasis, like even like your heart rhythm, like your
Oh my
heartbeat.
God.
Yeah.
That's so invasive.
Right, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
But it's in the terms and conditions.
Man, you saw that South Park,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Okay, that is a human centipede.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't read the user terms and conditions. Like, no, who reads that? That's why.
Said I can do this to you. You write in the terms and conditions. Like, I gotta start reading this.
Even after I saw that, I still.
All right. It's like,
I like I started scrolling through it and I was like,
It's like, I don't like, okay, I don't agree with any of
people
this.
fucked.
Yeah. Like, I don't agree with any of this. However,
I need this right now.
I need them new emojis.
Yeah. Like, I do want that update because otherwise the microphone won't work.
Off of the emojis out. I want to send heart cat eyes or cat heart eyes.
Yeah, that. It's funny when I have my AirPods in and like they're like reading me my text and then someone sends the emoji and they're like, this emoji. And I'm like, oh, that's what it's called.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a name.
me and my buddy, me and Sarah were texted back and it's like, oh, I didn't know they had all these new. It's like, what does this mean? And like, if you press it and you get the dictation and you go into your settings, you can just tap it and it'll read it. So I was just like screen recording and she was like, that's no way that's what that is. I was like, that's exactly what that is.
Who puts those together? Like, who comes up with that?
Someone very smart and bored.
Yeah.
Who's definitely keeping their job right now.
I mean, it's like the people that come up with like the new words for the dictionary, right? It's like selfie was one, and
oh yeah, once it comes,
thruple is one, and shit like that. Like,
I love how people are so upset about bling bling, like when that came, like that entered the dictionary, and because it was so, so ubiquitously used, like the U.S. English lexicon.
I feel like that should be noted, right?
Right. It's like, well, that's how we use it, so we're gonna add it in there.
Yeah. Someone like, going back into the archives and be like, what is bling bling? It's like, now we have a definition. Now they can know.
Right. It's like, it didn't exist in 1890. I'm like, so did like indoor plumbing. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. It's like...
Those people, the president of the United States pooped in a house outside the White House. What you want to talk about progress? Wow. Sorry, bling bling's a thing.
Yes. Like, historians will appreciate. Like,
yeah, 100%. Okay, we got off a little topic.
Wow, yes. So.
This is typical. You and I having a conversation. So, what do you want to do like next? Like, obviously, Fashion Week was a hit, and and we talked about this like the other day, just like enjoying and like kind of relishing like and how like awesome that moment was. But like, what do you have plans for? Like, what's
Well, okay, so the next chapter of my life, I've been here 7 years. It's like, I feel like I've done so much here, allowed me to grow. It's time to take that somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or maybe bi-coastal. Like, that's always been a thing for me too. I've definitely placed roots here. And I started taking what I do outside of just like the region into the state. But, I mean, me and my cousin Riley, like,
yep.
We've been talking about like what a collab would look like. And so, I mean, next week we're going to go to the East Coast and just, try some things out and kind of take some of these concepts to the East Coast. I mean, even with Dita and girls, like we're planning on doing a trip in October, to do a show down there. Yeah. And then I want to take Slap and Tickle somewhere.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about
Slap and Tickle Funk and Disco, baby. Live funk and disco DJ. That was fun. Anyway, so I've been talking to my boy Big Vic about that. I was like, let's take it to DC because that would be fun. So it's just kind of applying some of these, just taking some of these brands that have been built and just taking them into different environments and communities. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to working with you when you get on the East Coast and you want to start getting this thing rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
I got the mics and the equipment.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I mean, my friend Lizzie Jeff, she does a lot of like positive, like especially like for women's like health and women's like sexual knowledge. Like she does all these like events and they're amazing. And I don't know, I kind of see that you doing something different, but kind of similar. And just having like, even if it's just like a small group of women or small group of men and just like talking about just like all the positive aspects of either be entrepreneurship or just being like body positive or just like health and wellness or whatever lane you get into. Like, I could see you all making this whole crazy network.
Thanks.
That's bi-coastal.
Thank you.
And
Yeah. I get that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I guess that the common thread between all the things I do is like showcasing variety.
mm,
It's like girls. It's like a blank canvas for female expression. So it's like a variety show of like whatever anyone wants to share, whether it's poetry, or spoken word, or like
mm,
a skit, or live painting, or music, or whatever.
mm,
And same with Fashion Week. It's like, showcasing the variety that is Alaska fashion,
yeah,
whether it's from someone in Fairbanks or someone that hunts Harper seal and like makes beautiful garments out of it,
yeah,
to like a more contemporary brand who is a teacher here that makes knitwear and stuff.
mm,
It's like, I guess all the things are like platforms to showcase variety, and it's like, I think that's kind of like what would be happening in the next iteration of my life. Like, I've done a bunch of like entrepreneur meetups, and I was in a startup, beauty tech startup, Hair Voyage, where we would put together just beauty professionals that wanted to mentor each other.
mm,
Any beauty professional, whether it's makeup artist to colorist to just hair stylist, like extensions, like whatever, just like taking people in the same thing but doing different things
yeah,
and putting them. There's just a space, platform, stage for people
yeah,
to just express or share,
yeah.
come
That's
together.
yeah. I think that's all a lot of people need. It's just an opportunity to actually shine and get a moment to like be in front of the cameras, to be seen in front of a lot of groups of folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone has a story to tell. Everyone
Yeah,
has something to share.
yeah.
It's crazy that there's not that,
Mm. No, one
or that
percent.
it's so hard.
Yeah, and I'm glad now that things are kind of getting back to normal because, and right before, no, it was probably mid. It was like probably mid all the stuff that was happening in 2020, and having like this black government entrepreneurship basically like meetup online,
Yeah.
and it was a conversation that I was having with a couple of the older gentlemen there, and then one of the, I think she owned a gun shop in Maryland. I can't remember her name. I think her name was
Badass.
Tamara, and she was like, "Yeah, you can exist online, but you need to exist in the real world too."
100%.
And that was one of the things that always like stuck with me. And I was like, as soon as things start opening up, I need to get out there like as much as possible. I don't care what I'm doing. If it's a DJ thing, if I'm doing a photo shoot, if I'm like recording like a videography, whatever. It might not be my best work, but it needs to be the best work I can do at the moment because I already know where it's gonna go. It's just like you said, like having a stage, having the opportunity,
You
being
just need
able
to
to
keep
like,
fostering, I think, and like community and cultivating it too. It's like, that's why it's like, I mean, you know how many events I like to throw, or
yeah,
like get together, Gettys is what we say in Miami.
yeah,
It was like even the dinners, like
yeah.
that one, like when what was that one?
The vampire one.
No, what was that other one we did that on the darkest night?
Oh shoot! Oh yeah, that dinner.
That Wildwood light,
Yeah, yeah,
like even shit like that.
yeah. It's like
Just having some sort of like connection with just socializing. I mean, I think socializing is important,
yeah,
and like as soon as that's lost, I mean, socializing to me, I was like thinking about, why do I even do what I do? Like, it's because it's like like I didn't wake up and was like, I want to provide this for people. It was not that ever. It was more like, I like to socialize. I like to have a good time, and I like to like be amongst people and in groups, and like that's how I get my energy, and that's
yeah,
love. I love just like hearing, like just connecting with people and just
yeah,
like shooting the shit and just
yeah,
having fun and just um I think that's like, to me it's like really important is socializing. I mean, growing up with my grandparents, like every day at 3:30 everyone comes over and we have coffee,
yeah,
cafecito. It's like just socializing is just like really important. And I don't know, even during the pandemic and shutdown and stuff, there was still like the need to do that. We would do
yeah. Just
what
like
did
a
it say,
mental health.
social bubble, whatever like that term
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
like progressive dinners,
yeah,
where we would just like, there'd just be like a few of us, and then we just kind of get together for dinner and just go to each other's
yeah,
houses and stuff, and
yeah.
like,
And that became your bubble. Like
yeah, that's
you
the
would,
bubble. It's
yeah,
like, and having that interaction and just like contact is like really important for humans.
Yeah, we're social creatures.
Yeah.
And it's something that I have to keep reminding people, because some folks are like, oh, I didn't talk to people anyway during the thing. I'm like, you're gloating about being just
I'm so proud,
antisocial. It's like, oh, all right. It's like, but then it's like, then those people are like, hey, I reserve the right to say, no, I don't want to go to a party. Now I can't go to any party.
I
Like,
know.
oh, no, I'm getting a little sad about this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. And then there was a lot of that coming out. I was like, I didn't like hugging people anyway.
Right. And now you're like super depressed.
Now you're like, stay away from me.
Detached. And like trying to figure out what's wrong. You're like, well, you should be hugging some people. Just find your people that you want to hug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that was like interesting for me because I was like definitely a hugger.
Yeah.
And not a hugger. I was like more of the like,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then I realized during the shutdown and the whole thing, I was like, I don't have to do that with everyone I see.
Yes.
It's like such an automatic thing for me though.
Yeah.
When I first came here from Miami, people were creeped out.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand.
I get it
that.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I understand it, but at the same time, like, I feel like.
Well, now it's like, you should ask.
I get it. But it's such a common ingredient, especially like if you live down south or on the East Coast. Like, it's slap, hug.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it's just like very like
It's just like a quick
embracing like
quick thing. Yeah, yeah.
real
don't
quick,
actually,
whatever. You know, but
there's no holding.
yeah, like West Coast does it. It's not as much, especially like Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it is cold and dark all the time, so people are just kind
Man,
of
it's wet.
It's cold, wet, and dark all the time, so it's like
Lonely.
people just like leave me alone.
Yeah. I haven't had human contact in several years.
One of my friends, like, she started crying like when she was hugging her friend,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I heard those stories too.
yeah, I was like, we haven't hugged since before the pandemic. I'm like,
There's no one you could have, like,
there's no one. I was like,
or I haven't left my house and it's like, you can still go outside.
it's actually like you need to go outside. You should go outside. Like, you're not.
There was
sick.
like people people were like, oh, hunker down means like, I can't leave my house.
No.
Right? I noticed that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's still people who like. There was a two older ladies that I saw just out at the bar. I think probably last month, and it was the same situation. Like, she hadn't seen her friend since the pandemic, like since all this started, and I'm like, it's
I mean, we have vaccines now.
April 2022.
Yeah, I mean, like boosters and shit.
Right.
Not saying that like necessarily fixes
I mean,
things,
it should at
but
least
like, I mean,
make you feel better. Plus, it's keeping you safe.
if not now, when?
Yeah, right. It's like, and it was.
Oh, that's the whole thing. Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Like,
I'm just glad that we can socialize and that we can create events, and do all this stuff safely and just reconnect people, because we lost 2 years in a way, and just to be able to like get that back. And to get a sense of normalcy back is just so necessary, just for us to, just kind of remember who we are.
people I think are like, they were yearning for that.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, people were yearning for it. I mean, when I
Yeah.
did the grant symposium for the senator like a few weeks ago, I mean, the turnout was crazy,
Right.
like over 1,000 people,
I believe it.
and major turnout. And a lot of people were like, this is the first, not conference, but thing like this that we've gone to since the beginning of the pandemic. And
Yeah.
and everyone knows the risks by now, right?
Right.
You know something,
Right.
someone's bound to get something.
Right. Because I mean, it
And
wasn't.
people did it anyway.
It wasn't what we were like kind of told in the beginning. It wasn't, and I understand like it was just not knowing what was going to happen. But after a couple of months, getting to the year mark, and it was just like, oh, okay, well, 2% of the world population is not dead now because of this. So, and now we're seeing like people having long COVID effects and all that other stuff. But at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, there's therapeutics. Go work out, eat better, like take care of your body. 'Cause
Right.
if your body's in a state of like constant stress and anxiety, then you're gonna get sick. You're gonna succumb to illnesses quicker, like all this other stuff. Like this is nothing new, And now I think people are just more like, oh yeah, this is not anything different than. But I'm just glad.
Maybe I'm so sick of it that I don't want to.
I was glad people are feeling safe, and I'm glad we've come to a point where it's like, we can kind of operate at some level of normalcy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Like, definitely needed. I mean, even like with Brian Waldron, what's his last name? Waldron?
I don't know who you're talking about.
The guys whose thing we just bought for event spaces.
Oh, shoot. Yes.
Brian Waldron? Whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Not whatever, but like, okay, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting what he was saying. It was like, yeah, okay, like even amongst this whole time, you know, people are still gonna have events.
Yeah.
Like his business is thriving, doing an event space. It's like people are still gathering for sure. People still want to celebrate their family.
In New York, of all places, like that was one of the most locked down places. Like that we're still trying to figure out how to make it safe and still operate.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I mean, even with Fashion Week, it was hard to like operate with just that uncertainty. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, I'm going on another tangent, but it's like, we don't know what level we're going to be at. We don't know what the COVID count is going to be at in 1 month from now and 1 week from now. We don't know if we'll get shut down. Yeah. You know, we don't know if the city's going to come and pull our permit or if we need to come up with a COVID mitigation plan all of a sudden that's not required now, but might be later. So it's like, just operating in that uncertainty was just like such an interesting dance.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine.
I'm sure.
For an environment like that. Like.
Yeah, well, like the police are kicking down doors and arresting people.
Jesus.
Right? Just, you know, they might have been like, oh, we were following the mitigation. We got a whole thing. And it was like, nope, make too much noise.
Let's go break up the COVID party.
Break up the COVID party. Like, why would I? And, you know, if from a law enforcement standpoint, it's just like,
do I like
why would I expose myself?
Exactly.
Go home to my family.
I bring hazmat suits? Like, what's going on?
So let me get in a level A, like full, like encapsulated suit, like on air SCBA.
Got it. I didn't hear about that. People were like knocking down doors and stuff.
Say, did you get hazmat strippers? Like these guys are. They said the police, but I don't believe.
I don't believe them. No. What kind of joke is this? Who knows? Is that even a thing? That'd be funny as shit.
I'm not gonna say it. None of y'all take my freaking idea. I've been thinking about this for years.
Oh man.
So, long term.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Man, I want to definitely have my own space, my own venue. Yeah. But I want to like be mobile, so I want to be able to plug into maybe a couple different places.
Yeah.
So, you know, Miami's a place I can plug in. Here's a place I can plug in. And working on DC, I'm like, I've been there for a while. I have people there. So it's like being able to kind of activate spots.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Just kind of continue this, but make it more.
Yeah. I feel that same energy. Wanted to operate on the West Coast and then somewhere internationally. We got a couple ideas, but I'm not really sure where.
I haven't thought about the international part yet.
Yeah.
I know where I want to like chill.
Yeah.
But I haven't thought about like where I want to like activate.
Yeah.
Haven't gone there yet.
Yeah, definitely a conversation.
Probably somewhere in South America or the Caribbean.
Yeah. I kind of want to. There's a couple of spots in like the Pacific that I'm really into.
Oh, cool.
Because just from being out in Guam for like 3 years. But it's just like I have to tap into a different market that I need to get information and kind of just brush up on, like get a little more dangerous with the information so I can make that a possibility.
You know, Japan might be one I can like kind of like
Japan's opening
explore.
Up this
well, I mean, like I have friends there too, and they love the funk. So slap a tickle, baby.
I didn't realize like how like when Donna Summer started touring like in Asia, like how much they loved her stuff.
Oh my god!
And how like plastic like pop like that whole thing like became like a huge movement, and now it's kind of got a resurgence now. It's like it's a lot of like of her samples just sped up. Just like real like poolside disco, just jump. I'm like, oh, this is sexy. I like this. This is
That's
nice.
a cool scene to check out.
Yeah, I love Japan anyway, so like
I haven't been yet.
It's dope.
I want to go.
Super dope.
A lot of people here just go there for the skiing. It's like a thing.
I don't ski.
I don't either.
I like.
I'm definitely not gonna
warm things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to ski now. Like. Fuck that. There's like 4 things you have to keep like awareness of. Like there's 2 poles and there's 2 skis.
I mean, that's cool. I'm glad they enjoy it.
Me too.
I'm glad they enjoy it.
Yeah.
I want no parts of it, though.
Yeah, me either.
Get me 80-degree weather.
My sister broke her arm twice, like in this snowboarding lesson.
A lesson?
Yeah, exactly. Her first one.
You know who breaks
Well,
it?
not twice. She broke it once, and then she went back next year and then broke her arm again.
Oh, no, that's what I thought.
Like the same place, right? So obviously didn't heal.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Now she doesn't.
No thanks.
I like to surf.
Yeah, I get down with that. I
like
just
to
put
surf.
me in the water with a spear gun and
Okay,
leave me alone.
that I haven't messed with that.
I started doing that when I was in Guam and I loved it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is it heavy? No. Yeah, because obviously it's water.
Plus you're buoyant too. Like
Yeah,
water made of
exactly,
wood and like some like carbon fiber. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So when I was like, oh, like you're going to Alaska, I'm like, oh, maybe I can like.
Do people do that here?
There were some folks that do it, but then like you have to get like a 5 mil, like a thick ass like suit.
Yeah.
Because the water temperature like
Like the wetsuit.
still like in the 30s, even in the
It's
summertime.
cold when you have the wetsuit on.
Yeah, it's cold with a wetsuit on, and then you got to get like so much more gear just to stay warm.
Yeah, some of my Alaska friends are like, I scuba dive in the wintertime because it's the most visibility. I'm just like,
And that's the problem. It's like the summertime doesn't have good visibility.
no, glacier salt.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Because then you're based like in gel. Because the glacier silt just like, because
So
it gets
unsafe.
pulverized, it's just like,
So unsafe.
it's not normal. It's not water.
Plus, there's like sea lions.
And there's sea lions.
They're terrifying.
Yeah, they're not friendly.
And salmon shark. I don't care what anyone says. Like,
Oh, yeah, salmon sharks.
are they really not? Are they
Yeah.
really that
But they're still eating like
docile? Like, really though?
salmon.
Are they just eating salmon?
Probably.
Or do we not know if they eat
don't know
humans
enough about
because
the
we're not
ocean
in the
anyway.
water?
We don't know enough about the ocean anyway. So
It's true.
yeah. So I know enough to stay alive when I'm out.
I know enough
freediving.
that it's a shark's house.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
a
my first thought. It's like,
shark's house.
oh, I don't live here. It's like, you have now entered the chat.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, here we
And
go.
like, I'm sorry, did we all forget about the deep ocean planet Earth episode?
I have not
Like,
at all. I started seeing
like that one
I saw a
octopus?
dark shadow.
What is it? The vampire blood
No.
octopus killer.
No.
What's that? The things, the little lights at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Really?
I'm not with all that.
yeah, no.
Yeah, those things live in complete darkness.
Yeah.
They never
Like
they
things
don't
that
know what light is.
I couldn't even conceive of, like, I didn't know things could look like that.
Yep. No, 100%.
It's dark down there.
Very dark. The darkest.
It's disgusting. I don't want any of
It
it.
sounds oppressive.
I don't want any of it. No, man. Seriously. I know. That's why I was like wondering. It's like, we love like our king crab here. I'm like, who saw that
Oh,
down
yeah.
there? Those are terrifying creatures. And was like, let's get it.
I'ma eat it.
I'm gonna eat it.
One of them had to like have come up on land.
Well, yeah.
And like
And they probably saw Braven eating
somebody got,
it.
hit
Someone
with a
got
rock.
sick when they ate the middle. I don't know. I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
no, it
there's all
had to
this
be, right? 'Cause
that's all this traditional knowledge,
Somebody's got
right?
to figure out these lessons the hard way.
Yeah, I
It's like,
mean,
yeah, don't eat that. No,
Yeah,
Remember
obviously.
Frank? Yeah, we remember Frank too. The same time every year.
yeah, I mean, it's traditional knowledge passed down, but
Right.
I wouldn't be that person who's like, let's go.
No, thank you.
No.
Let's subscribe. Chad, this has been fun. We'll keep going. What's your next event? Like, what you got going on?
I'm taking a break
Yeah.
for 3 months. Okay. So I say that. I want to do a girls, like, before August. I want to do a girls event before
Okay.
August.
Okay.
People have been asking me about it. Timo's going to be in town.
That makes sense.
It's been since, when would you, January 27th is when we did the one at the
Oh yeah,
Alaskan.
that's right.
So like I want to keep it going. So so I think that's the next one. Well, there's one before that. I'm going to do a grand symposium again. So that's happening.
Okay.
Just bringing together like resources for funding for people in the state.
Okay.
And then yeah, I think those are the two like things that are like on the horizon, like short and medium term.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And then October. Yeah. Girls in Miami.
Girls in Miami.
That's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might give me a reason to boogie on down.
Obviously. Yeah. I mean, I want to get like an Airbnb or something in like Little Haiti or, I don't know, somewhere in that area. Like, not like in Miami Beach or anything like that, but, and then just have like a variety like of workshops, have the performance.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be down to help out. Sound,
Cool.
video.
Cool.
Anything you want to do. If you want to live stream it and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be cool. Like, so me, Dita, for sure. Natalie's from South Florida, so she has network too. Yeah. And then it'd be cool to take like Nicole Church or something.
Oh yeah.
You know, just like some like Alaska indigenous song.
Yeah.
Right. Like artistry.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
That'd be super dope.
Yeah. So
she'd love it too.
You know, I've kind of like put that back on my radar because, like, why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to seeing whatever you put your hands on next, man, because I know it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So we'll cut it here.
Cool. Let's cut it here.
Dana Herndon.
Thanks, guys.
And thank y'all for tuning in and checking out this fun and interesting episode. Stay tuned to the next one.
Yeah.
Night Show.